They say you should only focus on one goal at a time, but what if you didn't? What if you could lose body fat, get stronger, become more flexible, recover from injuries, and become mentally tougher all at the same time? Well, that's what I'm about to try. Hello, my name's Josh, and over the next 6 months, I'm going to try and tackle 5 huge goals at the same time. Most people will call that impossible, but I want to show you what's actually possible if you train smart. So here's the mission. 1. Lose 20 to 15 kilos of body weight. 2. Get stronger in dips, chin-ups, overhead press, and deadlifts. 3. Recover my knees so I can do a full pistol squat. 4. Become flexible enough to do the splits. And 5. Build mental resilience with meditation and journaling. Every episode I'll update you with the wins, the setbacks, and how I am progressing. But today we're going to start at the beginning where I am right now. So let's start with the testing. Main thing is to make sure you reach your goal. You need to know where you start. So I've done a series of tests so that we can measure as we get further on. And first is going to be the body weight test. So I stepped on the scales this morning, and as you can see here, I am weighing in at roughly 100 kilos. Now the goal is to go from 100 kilos to 80 to 85 kilos of body weight over the next 6 months. Then we have tested my strength. We've done a series of exercises and tested either the rep max or tested my strength in that exercise, starting with the dips. So I did a rep max test on the dips to see how many I could do. And as you can see here, weighing at 100 kilos, I've managed 8 reps on the dips. Then I did the chin-ups. So with chin-ups, I wasn't really sure where I was going to be going here with this. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get many at all because I'm quite heavy at the moment and I want to be a lot lighter. But I managed 4 chin-ups, which is pretty good. Not too bad. Obviously, we're going to be aiming for a higher number than this right now, but at the moment, 4 chin-ups. Then we have our overhead press. So with the overhead press, I managed to press 80 kilos. It was a very slow rep and it was very, very tough, but we got it out. Then we have the deadlift. So on the deadlift, I managed to pull 180 kilos. I think I got a little bit more in the tank there, but I felt a little bit twingy, so I didn't carry on further. But 180 kilos on the deadlift, definitely looking to get a lot more than that. My previous max on the deadlift was 205, so I need to get a little bit ahead, at least get to my... Now, honestly, these are not really where I want them to be, but that's the whole point in this. And the reason I've picked these exercises is, one, as I lose weight, specifically with the dips and the chin-ups, I should technically just be able to do more reps generally. I will also, however, be testing my weighted chin-ups and dips as we go further along in this plan. The ones that I'm going to struggle with improving is going to be the overhead press and the deadlifts, because when you are a bit heavier, it does make those lifts a bit easier. But we'll see. I reckon there's going to be ways around it, and improving my technique a little bit and making sure I'm planning and programming this correctly is going to help. Now we have our mobility test, and this one's really, really simple. We're just seeing how far I can get into the splits. And as you can see here, not very far. So I've got a bit of a way to go here. But when we get into the planning in a minute, we'll know what it is I'm doing to get the splits. The reason I want to do the splits is I just think it's cool. I would love to be able to just drop into the splits at any point. So yeah, splits. This is about as far as I can get right now, and we will hopefully get further than that in the future. Now going on to the rehab section of these goals. As I stated earlier, I really want to recover from injury, and what I've got going on right now is I currently can't do any running, any impacts like jumping, or any deep squatting due to pain in my knees. Now, I went to the physio, and the physio said that it's something to do with my Hoffer's fat pad. So underneath your patella, your kneecap, there is a pad of fat that can get inflamed and then can cause aggravation in your tendons and cause you pain. So currently, as you can see in this video here, this is as far as I can single leg squat on both legs. My left leg's a little bit better than my right, but my right, that's as far as I can get with a single leg squat. So the goal is to rehab my knees to the point where I can do a pistol squat again, which is something I have previously been able to do. So that's the goal with the knees, is to rehab them back so I can squat, I can run, I can jump without causing pain. Now, with all my clients, it's really important that we understand the why. Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to achieve these goals? And if you're trying to achieve a certain goal, then this is a good exercise for you to do as well, and is figure out why you are wanting to do this. So why do I want to try and hit 5 goals at once? I'm doing this because I want to prove something to myself and to anyone that's watching. Life isn't perfect. I've got injuries, I've got work, I've got commitments, but you don't need perfect to get better. This isn't about aesthetics. This is about building a body and mind that can adventure and that can enjoy life more. When I'm heavier and in pain and less fit, I don't feel as confident in my own abilities to go out and do stuff. But I live in Cornwall and I want to adventure and explore and kayak and rock climb and run and hike. And that is going to be a lot easier when I am stronger, when I am more flexible, when I am not injured, when I am lighter. This is about building a body and mind that's ready for adventure, ready for life, but also ready for anything that comes to it. So let's get into the plan. First, we're going to start with training, and this is how I'm going to break down my training routine. The aim is to resistance train 4 days a week. As you see here, I've split the 4 exercises up into strength and accessory throughout the week. So I'm aiming to hit my overhead press, dips, chin-ups and deadlifts at least twice a week, but once strength and once accessory. At the end of each workout as well, there'll be some form of pump, that I like to call it. So bodybuilding for areas that I do like in aesthetics. So arms, shoulders, calves, all that sort of stuff. There are also going to be some added extras in with my training. I'm needing to do mobility and rehab as well as some cardio throughout the week. Now my mobility, I'm aiming to do 10 minutes a day of mobility. Now what I'm going to do with this is tag it in with something that I already do, whether it's a bit of work while I'm doing my work or where I'm watching TV in the evening, be doing some mobility. Then for my rehab, I will be training my rehab every other day. This has been prescribed to me from my physio. It takes about half an hour. It's okay, I get it done. And then we have cardio. I'm doing cardio twice a week for 30 minutes. Unfortunately, I can't run at the moment, and all we have in the gym is an air bike, so I'm having to sit on the air bike for 30 minutes. But this is because I just want to keep my heart healthy, and it's good to keep moving as much as possible. Now we're on to our nutrition. So I've got a few things here for my nutrition. Firstly, my calories and macros. I'm going to be starting on 2,250 calories a day, as well as 160 to 200 grams of protein per day and 20 grams of fiber. Then moving on to some rules that I have set myself. I'm giving myself the 80-20 rule of eating good 80% of the time and allowing myself to relax 20% of the time. But that relaxation isn't going to be going all out on a McDonald's. It's going to be maybe having something that's a little bit sweet, but it's still within my calories. Then my daily or weekly habits. I'm going to make sure I meal prep twice a week. I'm a big fan of meal prepping, so I'll make sure I meal prep twice a week so I don't have to worry about finding food. Eating 3 meals plus 2 snacks daily, and drinking lots of water. Now for my emotional and mental resilience, the plan is to meditate daily, to journal once a week and to educate myself via coaching and learning about philosophy. What I'm using for this, I'm outsourcing a lot of this for the emotional mental resilience by using the app Waking Up. I'm no way endorsed by Waking Up, but I like the app, I like the layout, and it has educational material on there. In philosophy, I've currently been listening to a lot of Stoicism philosophy educational material, as well as doing the meditation daily. And then I have a coach that I meet with once a fortnight who's helping me work through a lot of stuff, as well as trying to journal once a week. It's going to be 6 months of discipline, setbacks, and breakthroughs, and hopefully some big results. 6 months from now, I don't know if I will have achieved all of it, but I do know I'll be stronger, lighter, more flexible, and more resilient than I am today. Follow along, subscribe to see whether I crash and burn or I follow through and make it happen. I will be updating you fortnightly on how this is going. So check in and we'll see where I'm at. Bye.